A Cambria County man scheduled to go to trial this week is out of jail after striking a plea deal with the district attorney's office on charges of raping 2 young boys.
But that jail time, not part of the plea, and it was the judge who decided to let Michael Grimm out for a few more days because of a skin infection. And Maria Miller was the only reporter in the courtroom this morning. Maria, exactly what happened?
Well, Marty and Jen, I can tell you the judge's decision is something that's not sitting well with prosecutors, the victims, or their families. They were hoping today for some closure, the chance to finally resolve things and not have to worry about Grimm contacting them. It's something they say he's already tried. Michael Grimm left the courtroom Wednesday morning a free man, but only for a few days. He's facing 8 to 30 years in state prison after pleading guilty to raping 2 young boys at least 9 years ago. Grimm had spent the past year in jail until a family member bailed him out last week. And prosecutors say the first thing he did was call family members of the victims, people already living in fear, after they say he's threatened them in the past, even holding a gun to one of the young boys' heads.
Literally held a gun to a child's head and said that he would kill him if he ever came forward. So of course the family is very scared that there might be repercussions now that not only have they come forward, they were willing to testify and got us to the point where we're going to go to trial and a plea occurred.
The victims and their families left court in tears after Judge David Tulowitzki agreed to keep Grimm from prison for a few more days to treat a skin infection.
They came forward today saying that he had cellulitis. It is not a medical condition that he has to be hospitalized for. He was treated and released from the hospital. He's on an antibiotic. So based on that and saying that he would not be administered that antibiotic in prison properly, the judge allowed him to stay out.
Grimm's defense attorney told us the plea bargain resolves 3 separate cases with multiple complainants and permits some closure to all involved. But the district attorney's office says the judge's decision just doesn't make sense.
We asked that he have no contact with children, that he be put on pretrial services, that he remain in Cambria County, and those conditions were granted. However, he allowed him out of jail at least until August 4th, which of course makes the victims feel very uncomfortable and very scared.
Now, I did talk with the warden of the Cambria County prison today. He told me that his team has dealt with much worse conditions than a skin infection. He says they've dealt with everything from MRSA to prisoners actually being on dialysis. He says he is extremely confident with his medical staff, but says it's ultimately up to the courts. Grimm is required to report back to the prison on Monday. He will then undergo a sexual assessment before his sentencing in October. Reporting live in the newsroom, Maria Miller, 6 News.